Okay, we are live.
Hi there, and welcome to another edition of Esoteric Hours. My name is Bradley Powers, and I am presenting Esoteric Hours, which has been running for many years now, with my co-host Jim Andre, who is an alien abductee and energy healer, and also a special guest is Shan Gilms, who is an alien contactee. Hi there, Shan, and welcome to the show.
Hi guys, thank you. Glad to be here.
Welcome to the show.
And Shan has got an amazing story to share, which she's going to share with you very soon about her. She is an alien contactee. Now, Shan, what sort of aliens are you actually connecting with? Do you actually know what species they are?
Yes, I've had enlightening experiences, but I believe that what I'm dealing with now is reptilians.
Yeah, I wouldn't know whether that would be actually a good thing or a bad thing.
It has turned out to be not a good thing. What I want to share here is others that are in my group, The Hidden Truth About Everything Unusual, that are having the same experiences. I've been having them almost constantly for 7 years now. I post a lot of it on the site. I started listening to a man that is considered an expert named James Bartley, that I've shared some of his videos, that just did a show, and it involved symptoms that people are having from these experiences. I started contacting these people on the site and sharing this video, and they contacted me back with, "Oh my God, Shanna, this is exactly what we're dealing with." They are in the ships above us. They end up, they kind of trick you, and they give you this desire to go out and film and film and take pictures and film. I'm seeing it with people on the site, and you do, and you think that they're something good, and then you start seeing things in your home like shimmers and dark shadows, and they're an energy that actually hurts you. When they talk about attachments, I have them. I feel them on my leg. They nudge me. They pull my eye down, crazy. They burn me. And a lot of people are having these same symptoms. And I know it's not me. It's something outside of me, because I see this. I've been dealing with it. I have had so many experiences the last 7 years. And I have a lot of proof of this, a lot of witnesses to these things. So all these people are going out and filming what I have seen, and it's worrying me. Nobody wants to talk about the bad things of this, but we need to. I'm here to bring out what is happening. I've researched it. I finally found people that are very solid. And like I said, name these symptoms. And I posted this on the site. It's James Bartley, and it talks about reptilians. He's had a lot of experiences dealing with them. There are people that can actually fully see them.
Well, there are people that are aware. Craigie Boy Horn says reptilian Draco, the underworld.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. The last time I went outside was over a week ago, and I videoed it. It's that video with a really bright, huge light above my backyard, and you can see a telephone pole. I saw black winged entities flying. For a long time, me and my daughter have been seeing like something flash by us a few times in the backyard. Now I saw black things flying under this huge. The clouds move weird. They're creepy. You can see something's up there. You couldn't see that light when I videoed this. I sent it to my friend that his life right now, his name's Annabelle Quinones, on another site, which is really big also. He has programs where he can see their energy and stuff. And that's who I reposted it from. And he's been telling me for years, Shannon, you have a huge craft above you. And I already knew that. Because these things went as far as showing me huge ships that were above me in this empty field. I thought they were amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm not some sucker that you just don't walk into this. They build your trust. It's very scary. It's very, very real and very hard to deal with.
Hi, Daisy. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, hi there, Daisy.
Hi, Daisy.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So, for those people that I talked to on the site, I hope that they will watch that one really, really good post on an expert on this, James Bartley. Like I said, he shared the symptoms, and it rocked me when I read it. I mean, heard it. I was just like, oh my God. I sent it to other people that are having these experiences, and they contacted me back and said, oh my God, how did you know this is what we're going through? I've been trying to dig it out anywhere I can. I want to warn people. I want to know what I'm going through. I'm telling you, it is insane. It's real. They burn my body. I can see dark shadows move around. They hit me with like an electric gun or an electric beam or something that vibrates my whole body. And that's a big symptom.
Now,
so
when you experience the burning, is that like when you're near a craft? Could that be like radiation, or how do they burn you?
Well, what happens is I always have a ringing in my ear, and it'll get louder and louder and louder. And then it feels like something's lowering literally in my home, and I start seeing these shadows move around. So I'm aware that they're there, and I feel like it's a world I can see but not fully. Then this vibration of this electrical vibration energy will hit you. It literally shakes my body. And there's other people stating the same exact thing. That's a big one, is feeling that energy.
Okay, but when you talk about being burned, do you have actual burn marks, or is it just a hot feeling.
It is like someone's taking a lit cigarette, and touches you with the cherry of it and burns my skin. I do this, and then with my brain, over and over, I've tested this. I feel it move around on my legs, and I'll feel a burn. They put me on a gabapentin, and that is nothing. It doesn't touch, because I wanted to know if there was something wrong with me.
Right.
It's advanced to the point where I can see these shadows. I'll test it, and even in my mind, of course, you're going to say, "Get the hell away from me. Stop," And I can feel their energy even in the room. I can see their shadows. There's going to be people that say she's got a screw loose. I've been researching this nonstop for 7 years, with experiences that are paranormal, out of this world, that I have much proof of all of this. I have witnesses to some videos and lots of pictures. That's another thing they do in the beginning, is they draw you out. You get a urge to take video and pictures constantly.
Right. Now, have you ever had any actual markings from the burnings? Have they ever left burn marks?
No.
No.
But there's been people that report like weird rashes, which I did go through that and mentally fought it. What else can you do? If you go to a doctor, they'll tell you, you have this and you have that, when it's actually not that. It's an attack. They physically attack your body. I've had 2 experiences that were recently. They were burning me, and they also keep me up night after night. I struggle with that. I finally was tired, and I was laying in my bed, and I said, "You know what? I give up. Do what you're going to do." It was like an invisible something with many arms, like an octopus, wrapped around my waist to my feet. I could literally feel it wrap around me. My adrenaline shot through my body, and I screamed, "Get off me, get off me, get off me." And they did. It wasn't friendly. That was a crazy one. I've just had so many experiences, and I'm not going to go on my site and say this happened and legs wrapped around me, but these things are real. I was like a lot of these people, and going out and filming these pictures and these videos, and I've had orbs right by me. I reported to MUFON 7 years ago when I had an orange orb in my backyard, sitting on a bush. I over and over with my mind said, "You're so beautiful, will you grow brighter?" And it was swirling on the inside. And every time I asked it to, it would grow brighter. My neighbor came out his door, because we shared a backyard, and he was taking out his trash. I watched him in the pitch dark walk up to this orb, stop, tiptoe over to it, throw his garbage down, and run in his back door as fast as he could. I started giggling, because I thought, "Oh my God, somebody else saw this. How amazing."
Right.
I just had one experience after the other. When this orb turned sideways, it actually looked like it sighed, and I felt its emotions. It looked like it kind of sighed, turned sideways, and I saw a face, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and it floated away.
Wow.
Some of the things that I've experienced, and I've got videos of Crazy Orange Orb too, another one, needs studied. And I think this needs looked at. A lot of people will know who Jack Valet is. He's pretty much a world-renowned scientist / did studies on this UFO phenomena. And he just put out a statement that pretty much says that he believes that our world leaders, government, military, are being affected by something that's making them think dark, and the way that it's pointing with the transhumanism and the AI and all that. He stated what he thought about this dark force, and I believe that is what we're dealing with. It's not all the love and light ones, and you get sucked into it, and sometimes it is not good, and then a lot of this not good is going on.
Well, I mean, the way the world is heading today, it's extremely off balance,
Extremely.
and it's so far off balance that in order to be a reset, to get anywhere near balanced, is it's going to take a lot, which means every great society throughout history that has risen has fallen for one reason or another.
Yeah,
and our current day society isn't going to be any different.
I hate to say it.
In order for there to be a true reset, it's going to be dramatic. It's going to be overwhelming. And unfortunately, the only way that a new world can be born is out of the rubble of the old.
You know what, Jim? That's what breaks my heart about this is I've also delved into ancient history research. I listen to a lot of Matthew LaCroix. It's like spelled LACROIX, I think, and Billy Carson. They have spent many years reading the cuneiform tablets and learning about the emerald tablets and the Ijiji and Enlil and Inky and all that. And it's written in so many of our, even we say it's ancient, but it's actually recent history with all the tribes, thousands of years old. They all wrote of these people, these bigger beings that came here. And then all of a sudden we had civilization overnight. And what they're proving with proof right now is that reset that you talk about has happened at least 5 times that we know now. I am serious when I say I don't know if I want to do this again. I mean, I love my life. I love my family, my grandkids, my animals, wildlife, God, the God that created everything, God.
Right. Now this reset, if they're successful in their agenda of eliminating 95% of the world population, if you stop to think about it, you say there's been maybe five resets or something like that.
Yeah.
Historically, okay. As I said before, our current day society is not going to be any different. So what that tells us is that as a period of time carries on, the world population increases. The more the world population increases, so then do the problems of the world.
I agree.
So, and the more technology that we come up with. And eventually, it gets to the point where it's going to turn around and bite us in the ass.
I agree. The whole reason I do this is to try to wake people up to the truth. I have hope. I do. I'm not going to stop. I have a life. I don't get paid for anything I do. I do it out of desperation in a way. After what I've gone through, what I'm going through, desperation that people will open their eyes and stop feeding into this. It's all lies. You know, our religions are total lies. They
Well,
took,
religion is based on fear. They use, certain few will use fear as a tool to control the masses. You know,
yeah,
they
and
teach
that's
you,
the,
they teach you to fear the dark side, the negativity, the evil, beyond
yeah,
to an icon or avatar called Satan. And on the other end of the coin, they teach you to fear the wrath of the good and loving God if you do not do his will. Okay.
exactly.
And if you do not do his will, if you sin, you will be condemned to eternal damnation, right?
Which
Which,
is a horrible way to live, you
well,
know?
yeah, yeah. And not only that, I mean, they set the bar for sinning so high that barring an infant or a child, there's no one that's walked the face of the earth that never sinned.
Yeah.
So now, with that being said, the good and loving God could be scarier than Satan himself. So,
Yeah,
so when you stop to think about that, does any of it make any sense? It doesn't to me.
me neither. And especially when you look back in history and then the name of, I'm going to say it, Catholic religion. In the name of Catholic religion, these people killed thousands and thousands of people that didn't conform to Christianity. I'm not saying I don't believe in the Almighty loving God and Jesus Christ, but that's not the way it was. We had things that infiltrated and changed it all. So to me, when they say the Matrix, to me, it's all lies. We're living in all lie reality.
Well, you have to wonder whether or not it's our own fault in a way. We see ourselves as being intelligent, over all other species. But in all reality, we have no one to compete against but ourselves, no one to fear but ourselves. And then we go ahead with this advanced technology that can destroy the entire world to protect us from no other than ourselves.
That's where I come in, Jim, and say that millions of years ago, we've been here for millions of years. Millions of years ago, there was the EGG and the Anunnaki. They were here, and the reptilians. They were here. There were huge wars, and there is a dark force here, and it's in our. They've never left. I always wanted to tell everybody the documentary that is coming out. The middle will be at the end of this month, and in that, it's going to be great. There's on Terry Lynch's property in Oregon. There's made out of rocks a picture of two elongated skull people. They're finding ancient things that when we go to war, they destroy the evidence and try to. But the people that I study and that research, Matt LaCroix and Billy Carson, they're bringing out about, we've been here at least 5 times that we know of. There's an entire story on our true history. And there is a dark force, and that's why we go down every 3,000 something years. And I do believe we're more than what they taught us. It states that in a lot of the writings, and that we're being suppressed. And that's the reason why this dark future that we always go into, it seems, ends up wiping humanity out. The restart. There's more to it than just humanity. There is reptilians involved.
Well, I believe there's more than reptilians. There's many races involved.
I think you're right. I think the dark force that's here is the reptilians. I'm dealing with them. The proof that I put up, the videos and everything, is I've not just sat around and wondered what this was. That's why the site is there. That's why I research constantly. And that's why there are certain people that I name. James Bartley, expert on reptilians. I posted it. Matthew LaCroix and Billy Carson are spending their life digging into these cuneiform tablets, all these ancient sightings. Brian Forrester is bringing out the one after the other elongated skull people that are being found mainly in Peru. There's several. Michael Tellinger is coming out about the true giants that were on Earth. There's proof of that. There's footprints, humans walking along besides dinosaurs. This all is being suppressed. You have to go look for it to find it.
Yeah.
Well, in the scheme of things, during the course of a lifetime, we're here for basically a very short period of time. So, my opinion is the bottom line is that life is a journey to be experienced, not a problem to be solved.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think life is amazing. I wouldn't trade it for the world, but I've been battling something it's here. I don't believe in the devil per se.
No, I don't either.
Throughout history, though, there's been every time we've been here, the reset, they've called them by different names. So, in my opinion, after seeing dark things fly up in the sky, I think that the word draconian, or maybe they put this in your mind. Who knows? Obviously, they affect people's minds. Jack Valet is somebody to really look up and listen to. He's an amazing man. He's really getting up there in age, but he's done so much research on this too. And when he states he believes there's a dark force affecting our government, our presidents, our military down, I think he's right. The way we keep going, and now this transhuman AI, I don't know about you guys, but that is a fear to me. I don't want nothing to do with that. I don't think it's good. And I'm not Mrs. Negative. I've had great experiences too, but this is negative. I'm talking about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. I'm talking about it.
Cassidy Lightwing's with us. Hi, Cassidy.
Hi there, Cassidy. Thank you for joining the show. David Nash says, yes, I do believe in cycles. About every 2,000 years, about the same time as the astronomical ages. We're coming into a new age now. Looking at all ages, every age has had its defining changing moments for Earth. I'm hoping we are mature enough as a civilization to face this new age, whatever it brings. And this new age could actually be the age of Aquarius.
Now, Cassidy is saying, let's talk about it. Cassidy, would you like to join us? If you'd like to join us, I can send you a link.
I think he's right about that. I think that we've been farther than we are now in the past. I think that there was an age in way early civilization that we were more esoteric. We went in a more, meditation and connecting with source and all that way. I think that the way we're going is not the right way.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but the thought of putting my soul into a machine, that's not going to happen. That to me is not the true godly way.
I think Cassidy will join the
show. I sent you that link, Cassidy. Cassidy's going to join us.
Okay, that'd be quite cool. Yeah.
There he is,
Shan, how were you
Cassidy
actually?
Lightweight.
Oh, Cassidy.
The alien. Now, here's a man that can answer our questions right here.
I was born in Denver. I'm not an alien.
Well, it says that right across your name there, Cass Lightweight.
Oh yeah,
the
that's how they have
alien.
me. Yeah.
Come on now.
No, that's not my fault. One second. Let me.
Don't try being modest now.
There we go. All right. So that should take care of that echo. I had the show on in the background.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Hello, Miss Gilms. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing?
Better than I was.
Well, that's good. Have you been
Yeah,
listening to the
good to
show?
see you, Cassidy.
I popped in because I got the message that you guys were live, but we were still doing our show on the coffee time. So I popped in as soon as I could. I got here right when you said maybe we shouldn't talk about the darkness. I'm like, nah, let's do it.
Yay. I hate to be the bearer of dark news, but I've had so many experiences in the last 7 years that went to something that I thought was incredible, to dealing with what I think is reptilians totally.
Well,
yeah.
Now, is it a dark experience because of the reptilians, or was it dark and they happen to be reptilians?
Well, me and my daughter spent night after night, under the stars, and I watched the strange clouds move around and have video after video of these incredible things. But there's always been like a shimmering, or they play with the lights, or started touching me even, to something I thought was incredible, to now being burnt. I have attachments that move around on my legs. Last time I was outside and my daughter mentioned that she kept seeing like something really fast and shadowy. Well, I took video of it, and there's this huge energy, like a portal looking thing above my backyard. And I started seeing dark things flying. And I've known in the back of my mind, and I run that site with over 5,000 people, and I talk to people as much as I can. And I started researching this guy named James Bartley that is really knowledgeable on reptilians. And he put symptoms on there that made my heart drop and my body shake. And I started sharing this, podcast on YouTube with my site and other people that are having identical experiences. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all.
Do you know who I am?
A little bit. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. It's always
Thanks.
nice to meet a new friend. All right. So what sort of symptoms have you already shared them with the audience? Are we going over?
Not really. We haven't shared the symptoms that well. Lower back problems. I even had my back operated on. The other people report that. Being hit with like an energy that actually shakes your body.
Right.
Burning of the skin, like somebody's holding a cherry on you.
Right.
Seeing these shadows move around as it's happening. These dark looking things that I have videoed of my ceiling in my room. There's a light bulb with a star hanging down, and you can see these black things buzzing all around it. That's them. And you can, in dark places, you can see it. Shadows look darker than they should, like they go black. You start seeing movement, like on your ceiling in your home. There's always like a weird high pitch ring in usually your left ear that you can feel something move around in there.
This is going to sound like a really weird question, but have you ever had milk curdle faster than it should?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, a few times.
No bueno.
Why? That is a weird question.
Well, I am a very experienced exorcist, so there's a lot of things that to most people today are going to sound very, very strange. Go back even 60 years, and like the grandmothers would be like, "Why, yes, and in fact, this happened too, and then this, and then this, and then this." I love it when you get that kind. That makes the job way easier. These entities, they disrupt certain high frequency energies that we would associate with what you would call life energy, and milk has quite a lot of it. So if something can disrupt the energy flow, going into a general area, the milk will generally show you what's up by curdling and the way it'll curdle.
Okay, no, not to that point.
Okay.
What I deal with is it's visual, and I have a lot of it on video.
Oh no, I believe you. The rest of it's adding up. I'm just trying to figure zero in on exact species and frequencies.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I've been doing lately is I've been learning about these frequencies, and I even downloaded this thing on my phone. And I've been playing, they call it the Neptune frequency. It's like 211 point something. Different frequencies that seem to help. But now it's getting to the point where I've got to be doing something constantly to battle or uplift myself. I feel like I'm battling something, and it's not some made up thing. I've got pictures and videos of extreme weirdness, an energy that's in my home that's been tested. I don't know if you know who Annabelle Quinones is. He runs another big site.
No.
He has stuff, programs that can test the energies on your videos and pictures. And he has stated for many years now, you definitely have things around you. I've sent him lots of videos. I'm going to be in a documentary called The Middle that's coming out at the end of October with some of my sightings. Basically, that stars a friend of mine that had a close-up, face-to-face, him and his son with UFO that went from biker to ufologist scientist. He's going to be showing things that are happening on his Oregon property.
Cool.
I've got the previews of it. It's going to be really good. I'll post on the site when that comes out. It's going to be the end of October. These things that I'm talking about are happening. Jack Valet. You know who Jack Valet is, I'm sure.
I'm not so good with human names, hon.
Well, he's an older guy that has been doing research on this stuff for a long time. He just put out a statement that he thinks that our leaders and military and government and all that are being persuaded by something dark, and that's the way we're kind of headed again.
Well, he's not wrong.
Yeah. And I'm dealing with it, whatever it is. It's not nice. It makes my life very hard. A lot of people know me pretty well on my site. I discuss these things. I post whatever I can. I research our ancient history. This has been quite a process.
Ascending Link is asking, could your house have been built on a sacred place, Shan?
My health?
Your house. Could your house have been built on a sacred place?
I would say that could be a possibility, but I have moved 3 times in the last 7 years, and I go from here, Idaho Falls, Idaho, to Salmon, Idaho, and it's in both places.
Well, yeah, they're tracking your chakras.
Yeah, I think so too.
Chris Joan Marie says, do you think it's alien or demonic, Shan?
I'm not going to say I believe in saying demonic from things I've seen about exorcism and stuff, but I think that it's probably something that's ancient, that's been here for
Yeah.
at least thousands of years. And the way that it's been talked to about in the most ancient past is reptilian.
Yeah.
There were wars in our ancient past, including the reptilians, the Gigi, the Anunnaki, and
Anybody ever
so I'm
notice it's
going to
always a
say it's
cat god
reptilian.
that stops that stuff?
Pardon me?
Did anybody else ever notice it's always a cat god that puts an end to that stuff in the ancient texts?
Do you mean like the Illyrians? When they talk about the Illyrians?
You said it. It may be true, but I didn't say it.
From what I'm learning, and I'm quoting some things from Billy Carson and Matthew LaCroix, which
Now that name
spend
sounds
their
familiar.
life doing this.
The Matthew LaCroix sounds familiar.
Yeah, they're pretty amazing guys. They are learning the cubiform text, read all about the emerald tablets and all that. And
That's
yeah, and so many
quality.
people back this up. And
Yeah.
I think, and other people that are studying this, that they never left.
Nope.
My good friend Terry Lynch, that is in that documentary, has craft that fly in and out of his Oregon property. We think they are in the earth. We think they never left. It's kind of obvious if you study the ancient past and look at our cycles. And I believe it's every 3,000 something years. I just don't know the last three numbers.
Very close. Very,
Yeah.
very, very close.
Yeah. And we seem to, like you said, have that reset.
Yeah.
And it's sad because so many people believe all the things that are going on are the truth, and they're not. Our religions are false. God's all loving, I believe. I don't think that we are punished and go to hell, and they did that for control, like Jim said, and that's happened over and over. They know of at least 5 times now that we've had resets. That's not very bright news, it makes my heart hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can agree, and I've only witnessed the last 40 years of this Meshuva. So
Yeah. When this all started happening, it was kind of traumatizing when you see when you're the river here and you see these craft up in the sky and this colorful fuzz, which I videoed it all, including the portal. This colorful fuzz, and I'm seeing giants, ugly, hideous giants walking in these lines. And then
time out. This is very, very important. What do you mean hideous and ugly giants? Please be specific. What makes them hideous?
They were fighting in the trees that were around the river that I was at. This all happened when it started getting dark. I see this, I call them starcraft that are over me in the sky. I videoed all this.
Yeah.
And I see this colorful fuzz, and I'm looking at the trees, and they're moving in just these certain spots. And then I get these images, or I'm looking at 60-foot down to 10 foot by my car. They crossed the river. They're fighting in these trees. I'm saying over and over, in the name of Jesus, you have to leave. I'm not calm. I'll tell you that.
No.
Anyway, I hear them getting out of the water. In my video, you see this crazy fuzzy stuff. You see the craft in the sky. And then I show the portal above me, and that traumatized me. And I can tell you, after that, I stopped going out way near as much. And that's when my pain started.
But what about the giants made them ugly? This is a very important question.
They were hideous looking. They were huge and fighting in the trees. And as I'm saying, in the name of Jesus, you have to leave, and I'm spouting this, I got flashes of their faces in my head. And they were like you would see big, hideous, evil looking, ugly giants.
Okay,
It
so
traumatized me big time.
without asking a leading question, when I say, because you got a good clear face, when I say like hideous, were they hideous like orcs are hideous in the movies, or are they hideous like, you know, gross and mutated, or were they
Both.
rotting what?
They looked hideous. Their faces were orcish, scary, not like deformed almost looking. They were big. I could hear them cross the river, get out of the water, and then the trees along where my car was parked started moving in this crazy way. And I could see that fuzz with them in the images. Two friends of mine that live in Boise and write a newspaper there about strange occurrences actually came to Idaho Falls, and she witnessed some of what I saw.
Is there a strong Irish population there?
No, there's a strong Mormon population here.
That works too, actually, believe it or not. So for those of you who are watching, you might have noticed my lower lip is quivering. This is not a good sign. The giants that you were seeing, they're called in Irish mythology, they're called Fomori, Fomorok giants. This is very, very bad news. And that's why we were asking very specifically, because like you get the Cyclops giants, you know, they're handsome except for the one big eye. You know what I mean? You get, you know, other kinds of giants, which, you know, they're ugly, but they're still symmetrical. Okay, the deformed ones, the Fomorok, that's very, very bad news.
Yeah, they were hideous. And those images that I got in my mind as I'm watching were like an anger flash, because I was saying, in the name of Jesus, you know, you shouldn't be here. They were hideous and terrified me to the point where I wouldn't even go outside for a long time at night. And
David
whatever.
Nash says, are they red-headed giants? David Nash says, are they red-headed giants, Cass, like the ones in the nature tales?
The Fomorok?
No, I don't think they were red-headed giants, and I think they were way bigger than what they talk about the red-headed giants were. And that wasn't the only time I saw a giant.
Yeah. And for the audience sake, technically, I'm a red-headed giant by the native standards. It's actually one of the issues I've had with the native people. I'm almost 6.5 feet tall, and I have red hair. When the sun shines, it's red. So the Lakota were like, "No, you can stay over there," for many years.
I'm divorced now, but on my honeymoon many years ago, I went to Reno, Nevada and got married. And then we went up to Sparks, Nevada, and I saw one of the over 9 feet tall skeletons of a giant.
Yeah.
That you can't find those anymore, by the way, they're all gone. We wonder where those went to.
Actually, I have an answer for that. They found them. The Smithsonian Institute found them.
So then they don't show them. They take them away, and you don't get to see them anymore. So
we're working on that.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, we've actually made some progress on there. The Smithsonian Institute is releasing like old bear pelts and things like that. So they might be willing to release some of these fragments in the future once they've been fully studied. But they're kind of terrified by the fact that a race of 10-foot tall people literally lived here.
Yeah, they're finding them all over. They're also finding the elongated skull people all over. You know, they're digging up. Brian Forrester's a big one on that, and he's proving that they weren't human. They were not human, and they're being found. I post pictures of the elongated skulls and Brian Forrester on my site, so people can see what's going on with that. There are things, you're right, happening below the radar that could be good. I just wish it would happen faster if it's going to go that way.
Working on it.
That's an awesome thing to hear.
Now, we
Yeah.
actually have acquired genetic proof of a lot of this. We're just in the process of working with the right people to make sure this gets out to the whole world, not just like one dude who can put a sticker on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's quite the process. I'm learning. The only reason I started this site is because I wanted to know what was going on in a world I had didn't know anything about any of this. It's taken a lot of research and a lot of experiences to push me to want this to come out to the public, to want this to go viral, so people that are experiencing things at least have some kind of light of knowledge to the truth.
You are not alone.
I know, and that's a great thing. We have to keep it up. I take breaks out of, sometimes it's really hard to deal with. I'm sure all of you guys know that. And I take little breaks, but not for long. I'm back in there researching for the truth, finding reliable sources, talking to people having these experiences, which this James Bartlett guy that a friend of mine turned me on to, he's the most expert on this reptilian thing that I've ever heard. And when the people that are having these experiences hear his show on YouTube, they started contacting me. Oh my God, Shanna, how did you know what was going on? Well, because I'm dealing with it. And no, I don't believe they're demons. I saw black winged figures flying below the ominous, crazy clouds that come over here. And it started out with shadow things that would fly by. And my daughter is very normal and very self-aware, and she sees certain things with me. We had the Bigfoot experience. We do live in a paranormal world. I don't know. I'm going to tell you, 7 years ago, I asked for the truth, and it's like something came and they show me things and I deal with things. And they're not all good. They're not all good. And nobody wants to talk about that. It needs talked about. It's happening to other people.
Well, you came to the right place. There ain't no subject Bradley and Jim won't tackle.
Yeah, I
know. I got my channel striked for it over it too.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get some information from you and post you up on my site.
Any information you want. Funny thing is, synchronicity. We were talking about this exact subject on the Coffee Time show, literally right before I showed up. Basically the intention, the presence of the blue sphere creatures and blue sphere entities, the presence of the red sphere entities, all that stuff.
Yeah, I know. I've had strange synchronicities too. I'm going to say the last 7 years, this all started. Yeah. You'll have one thing happen over here, and then totally that connection over here, and you think about, wow, that's strange, and that connects. There's another piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. And that's why we always got to keep our eye out for the truth, folks. And so, if you see us debunk something, don't get mad. We're not here trying to take the magic away from the world. But when we can separate the fly shit from the pepper, as my grandpa used to say, things gets a lot better.
Yeah, I agree. Another piece of the puzzle. It's aggravating when you don't know the truth flat out, but you have all these symptoms and experiences, and then you go looking. And I know that's with a lot of people, your main question is, what is going on? Why is this happening? Where do I go? And that's why I try to post all the things I do. That's why I'm glad that you invited me on this show, because I'm not going to hold back. I'm at the point, gossip, think differently. It doesn't matter to me. All that matters to me is answers, research, helping. I want to help, any way I can, and mainly get the truth out.
Yeah.
That's right, and you have a voice that needs to be heard, Shan, and that's why you're on the show. We think you have a right to share your voice, your feelings, your emotions need to be heard. Your voice carries clarity, you speak with passion, and you're very sincere. That's why you're on the show.
Thank you.
That's
I'm
cool.
really glad you guys invited me on, because this is mostly for people, to me, friends, acquaintances, everybody on the group, everybody that's joining the group. If you are having experiences, if you are having problems, if you are thinking that there's, any darkness or light around you and you want to talk about it, it needs talked about.
Well, yeah, that's what these forums and groups are all about.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I say reptilians because of the things I've seen and the things I've researched. I'm going to put out that name, James Bartley, again. He is the best person I've ever heard speak on the reptilian presence. I'm having personal experiences with it. I've posted video after video, pictures. I'm going to be on that documentary, and all I'm doing this for is to get the truth out.
And for those of you in the audience who might be thinking that this is, like horseshit or whatever, I want you guys to understand that members of the various teams around the world can provide information literally to the forensic degree about these creatures. I can't remember his name, but he's a guy. He was a contractor. He was a civilian. He was working with the military, excavating a thing, and he got his arm blown off. You know who I'm talking about?
Oh, that was Phil Schneider.
Yeah,
Phil Schneider.
They got killed / murdered. Yes.
My head was saying Phil Spector, and I'm like, that's a different guy.
Yeah, Phil Schneider, yeah.
Right. So the same guys that he ran into, we've actually provided information literally to the forensic degree about like how their bones are constructed, the consistency of their skin, ways to fight them. That's why, folks, we're making progress. Members of our team can identify down to the subspecies what some of
This
these
is awesome
biologicals are.
news.
What was that?
This is great news. Because you feel like you're talking about a ghost to some people that have no idea what's going on in this place. And it's really a real thing. It's a real thing. It's a scary thing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that have come out and risked everything in their life. Their everything, who they are, being laughed at and everything.
Yeah.
That are scientists, that are archaeologists, thank you, paleontologists, scientists, ufologists, that are coming out on the limb to try to tell people that there are things going on that they are finding lots of proof about, including these people you talk about that have gotten murdered. There's a whole list of people that have tried to bring things out that are dead under weird circumstances.
Yeah, like whistleblowers you're referring to, yeah.
At the risk of saying something crazy, that's why the Ashtar Command is getting involved. It's humans are too fragile. It's too easy for the CIA to just, choke one of you out, and then that's the end. So visitors are having to get involved. People who basically more or less work with Valiant Thor, we're here and there's a reason. And you just described why, Mrs. Gilms. Is it Mrs. or Miss?
It's Gilms. It's actually, my name is Shan Gilmer, but I go under Shan Gilms.
What is the appropriate honorific by which to call you?
Miss.
Miss. Okay. Miss. All right. Thank you. But yeah, that's why we are having to get involved. Like Mr. Bradley, it's one of the reasons why he's a hero to a lot of the starseeds. He's had people on the show here, not just me, who have literally engaged in battles with these people in public places. The war is reaching your door, humans. You're not going to have the luxury of calling this crazy talk much longer. You know,
It's really neat that you bring that up, because that is a newer learning that I'm finding out. I mean, I've heard of Valiant Thor for a long time. I posted some about that recently. There's even pictures of him and a female lady that he was with.
there were three. There were three of them. But yeah.
And
And then-
Cassidy, Valiant 4. What species is Valiant 4 from, Cassidy?
What species is what?
Valiant 4. What would you say he stems from?
Oh, he's Pleiadian.
He's
Pleiadian.
he's from Venus, isn't he?
And that's what, okay, when they said, where do you come from? This always happens. Same thing with Betty and Barney Hill. They asked them, where did you come from? Not what's your planet of origin. Those are two radically different questions.
Right.
So yes, he did come from Venus in a fashion. In a way, I did too. You know what I mean? The Venus creates a certain gravitational field which allows for communication. There's a major vortex there, right? So in 1993, when my group arrived here, we arrived from the vortex at Venus, and that's why when the various pictures you guys find, that you'll see of the New Jerusalem mothership, it's always hanging around Venus. That's why, you know.
there are so many videos too that I posted in the last few months about these huge ships being seen coming into our atmosphere. And they're just sitting out there, you know. They're and that's very interesting. You know, I feel like this, with my experiences, thank God, please fight them. Let's win this. Maybe this is the time they talk about that was written about, where we get to go on to higher dimensions and all that, you know. Maybe this isn't the doom and gloom of the last 5 that we know of resets.
Well, let's
That's what I'm hoping
for all the Christians in the audience and all the Jewish people in the audience too. Now that I think about it, even the Bible, even the Jewish Bible, talks about us. They call us the 4 living creatures. Ask yourself, folks, what is a creature that is alive, that is between man and angel, that looks like a lion, or looks like an ox, or looks like a blue bird? The fact that we're here is herald of a new age. Folks, hope is coming. Okay? The darkness cannot survive us.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I hold in my heart and soul. That's what I'm fighting. And there's a lot of other people fighting.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing, in my opinion, is we're fighting to get the truth out. We're fighting to get the darkness away. We're fighting to get the light free, you know?
Right. And those that can, those that have the skills to affect, are trying to get out there into the world and get the shit done. Like, for example, the crystal skulls. We have got to get them together, folks. Okay. It's the 11th hour now.
I have heard this. That's very interesting too. Talk about another show.
Oh, dude, we could go into that.
Yeah. I want to mention 2 friends, Darren Salas and Wesley Rowe. There's a couple people that are both having these experiences that I'm having, that I talk to daily. I have a lot of people that send me amazing information that I go and research.
Keep it coming, folks. Keep it sending. Keep sending. Just the more of, okay, I have this theory, right? If everybody would just admit what they've seen, we'd find out that everybody's seen it all. There are people in the audience right now. Yeah. There are people in the audience right now going, I totally didn't see that. But in reality, they did, and they just don't want to tell anybody because they don't want to be afraid. I mean, if you lived through the 80s, you saw what happened to people when they try to come forward.
Yeah. That's where I'm at the point where, I'm 55. I love life. I'm not going to live in silence and shame and fear of coming out with my truth. And the communication that I have with people, I'm not hiding anything. I'm not gonna do anything to bring out my experiences, because I think it needs to be heard. And others that want to be on your show, by the way, guys,
Yeah.
Yep.
they
Yeah,
have
ask
their
them to
own.
inbox us. Yeah. Ask them to inbox us, Shan. Chris Joan Marie says, you guys always lift me up and inspire me. Thank you all. Thank you, Chris Joan Marie. That's very kind of you to say so.
Yeah, thank you. I hold a very strong light of hope. I'll never stop. I'll never give up.
Good.
I'll never give in. And I know God is a complete loving, whatever you want to call him, light of all. And that's what I hold on to dearly.
Me and Kaz today have faith that the light will win the day eventually in time. We believe that.
I sure hope so.
Can you call it faith when you know, though? Like when you've seen the future, when you've seen it and you know it's coming, can you call it faith? You know?
I don't want to say it's kind of cycled, you know, because of the 5 resets that they are now proving. I know there's it's written in throughout history of a time where we do get through this.
Mm-hmm.
Shan,
it is Aquarius, right?
Shan, Vic Makarov is asking, do these wings reptilians, are they real, like, or interdimensional?
Whoever's around me seems to see what I see. I have witnesses, and my daughter has seen them as shadows. The last time I was outside, when I videoed and posted it, of like a huge portal above my backyard, I physically saw black flying entities. And they're not good. They're not good. And they're real.
All that's required for certain hyperdimensional entities to become real, as it were, is, quite frankly, just enough energy. And once enough energy is in the environment, you're going to start seeing these things manifest. And you already begun. I mean, your scientist just a few months ago, like, recovered an honest to goodness pixie, like an actual pixie with DNA and bones and internal organs. Okay. The Thunderbird has been getting witnessed by biologists. You know, they haven't released the information yet, but the Thunderbirds are back. There's something's going on.
Oh yeah, there's also people reported in Lower Idaho that I saw recently. People are seeing dinosaurs, pterodactyls.
Yeah, Thunderbirds.
And I think you're right. Some people are seeing dimensions, I think, is what's going on. When I had the giants, when that happened at the river, that had to have been another dimension. I think I've seen in other dimensions many times now, because it lines up and blends in with the rest of what we live in, is how I can explain it.
That's a good way to explain it. I mean, perception is a filter. I mean, the only thing.
Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to
No, you go ahead. This is your show.
One day, I hope that my videos are studied. One day, I hope that someone takes a look at them. They have enough for me to have several in the documentary coming out, the middle, at the end of this month. People have looked at a lot of my videos, but there are ones that are out of this world on there, like the night that happened with the giants crossing the river and this crazy portal that I also videoed above me.
Did you get the giants on tape?
Only a weird, colorful fuzz. But 2 friends of mine that do a newspaper in Boise came to Idaho Falls and witnessed strange things with me. It's in a fuzz. It looks like another world blended with ours. I was
Right.
at the real river, the Snake River here, and have the complete video. What showed up really well was the portal above me.
Mm.
Yeah, I've got a lot of video. I've taken so much video and pictures.
Is there a way
And
somebody could post like a link to your channel?
yeah, we can definitely do that. It's called The Hidden Truth About Everything Unusual. And there's over 5,000 people on the site. Wonderful people there. And that's what I do daily. Is see what's posted, try to post truths. A lot of people are waking up. That is the great news about this whole thing.
Well, I am not pulling up the Hidden Truth website. Can you give me a address?
Can I shut this off for a minute? Just
You
No,
can put
we
it-
don't want to lose you. It's called The Hidden Truth, Cassidy.
Yeah.
hidden,
I'm admin now. I will add you. I will add you to the group right now.
Oh, so it's
Okay.
a Facebook group.
yeah,
That would
Yeah,
help.
yeah.
I was all like, Google, come on, man.
Oh no, I wish I could get up that high. Yeah,
I will add you to the group right now, Cassidy.
I label myself as the truth seeker. I do everything I can to find out the truth, share the truth, and talk to people about their experiences and what's going on. And mine, I truly believe, by these other experts. James Bartley's one of them, one of the best that is on Facebook. And
I've invited you, Cassidy.
James
All right.
Bartley.
Check your notifications, Cassidy. I've invited you.
All right.
Yeah, like, for instance, I went to the store before the store it started, and I said to the lady behind the counter, "Oh my gosh, I have to hurry. I've got a podcast going on." "Well, what's your podcast about?" "Well, it's called The Hidden Truth About Everything Unusual, and it's about how I believe religion was a lie, that it's about UFOs, about people's experiences, it's about spreading the truth." She said, "I know it's all a lie. I know, blah, 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 blah. And what's your group?" So I shared on a piece of paper so she could join. That's how we spread it. You can't walk around acting like, everybody else is on Venus and you're on Mars. You have to speak about this stuff, and you have to swallow your pride.
And you have to be willing to let people look at you like you've grown a second head. Not everybody's going to believe
Yeah,
you.
yeah, exactly.
It's like, you guys have
And
any idea? Like 40 years of trying to tell people I'm an alien, but not like that's the joke part, but you get the idea. And it literally got me nowhere. You just
well, I know
at it.
there's a lot of different races and stuff. But in the beginning, which is written in all the ancient tribes around the world, they talk about the Anunnaki being here.
Yeah.
Then, on the cuneiform texts and other writings, and they all came from above. They all came from above. Then in other writings, they talk about the Gigis and how the Anunnaki went to war and the Arcturians got involved and the Lyrians were involved. We're all aliens.
Although, for the record, we were already here.
Yes. But I mean, as far as having mixed things in humanity, what we are,
Oh, yeah.
I think it's like a Heinz 57 kind of thing.
Yeah, we all have alien DNA. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's one of the points we need to actually sort of address, which what the Nibirites specifically brought to your people is the problem today. The ones that the Sumerians call the Anunnaki, they're actually an alien race. Nibiru, right? So hence Nibirites. The faulty genome that they introduce into the atmosphere is what's causing all of this. Okay, but they were not the only ones to contribute to the DNA here. like Jim said, you know.
Yeah. Yep. There's a lot of good information that you're putting out too. Matthew LaCroix mentions these wars and states the writings directly from as far ancient past as we can go.
Yeah.
They think they just found the first city the first city in civilization. And when we go to war, guys, they focus on destroying the evidence.
Mm-hmm. That's what one of the points in my book it's an analogy to the real world is post World War II. You guys have no idea how much information they just flat out destroyed or took from the public, and then and this is the real world, not my book, but it's also in the book. It's more obvious in the book, but in the real world, they then suppressed basically everything that they had discovered. The Nazis discovered a lot. Okay, the Americans, the British, everyone. Basically, because the Nazis were dealing with the cultists of Thule, the whole world had to start looking into the supernatural. And what they found could have changed the course of history, but they said no. We're going to suppress it instead. And if you bring it up, we're going to put you in the funny room. And
Yeah,
so, yeah,
I agree. I
So,
agree. And then Antarctica is a whole other story. I mean, there's factions of states all around there now moving in. The weird visits we've had from ex-presidents, the Pope, all going over there in a boat. You know, that's real factual stuff.
they went to beg. They were
I
told
think
no.
I think that part's dark. I think that's what we've been dealing with every reset is there is a dark faction. We are in duality. There's a dark and a light. And you know what? I am so ready to see some light come out.
Me too. And Candace, I believe that. Folks, if anyone who claims to be a visitor or whatever, if they tell you they know all the races and all of everything, they are lying. There are
Yeah,
too
it's
many
scary.
people.
You don't truly know who to trust on this.
Yeah.
And that's a scary thought, because you have these people that claim things. And I know I claim things, but I'm willing to put my butt on the line about it.
Yeah.
I have nothing to hide. I put up as much proof about it as I can. I don't just go behind the scenes. I share everything that I'm learning. And it's good to have you guys share also. Thanks everybody on the site, for all your truths and participation. And thank you guys. Bradley, Jim, you're wonderful. I'm thankful for you.
I just
We're
added a load of people to your group, Shane.
awesome. Awesome.
I've just added
Yeah, thank you.
Please feel welcome. The
Thank
only
you for coming
thing
on.
oh, I'm sorry, Jim.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for being a part of my life. Thank you for being on the site. I'm not going to stop sharing the truth. I'm not going to stop seeking the truth, and we're all in this together, by the way.
That's the bottom line. Exactly.
Yes.
We're all in this
Yes.
together.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a question. Would you, if you had the opportunity, like if somebody, some handsome lion person from beyond infinity offered to help you with the issues going on in your home, would you accept it? Or would you want to allow the phenomenon to continue in order to create awareness?
I would accept the help. I'm at that point. It's a personal battle. We didn't go deep into it, but I want to stress to friends on the site that are having the same symptoms, the reptilian things I'm sharing, mainly from James Bartley, which said the symptoms, which when I shared it to these other friends on the site, their reactions were, oh my God, yes, this is what's happening to me also. It's a phenomena that's not good. it's been talked about in ancient history and called different names, but I think it's the same thing.
Oh yeah.
And like Jack Ballet is very credible. And he just put out a statement about he thinks that there's a darkness that's gone into our military, governments, presidents, everything stems down to our news. We live in a lie. There is dark here. Well,
Stop that.
you
Sorry,
look
we
like
have
you
a
almost
wrestling
fell.
no, she just started pushing my chair. She usually doesn't mess with anything, but like she'll like mess with the dishes or like open all the cabinets, like the typical ghost stuff. That was more aggressive than she's been. Sorry about
That's neat that you have experiences like that too, and you must be very open to it.
Well, like I said, I have many, many, many years of exorcism under my belt. So I've been doing this since I was 5. My dad used to take.
I'm sorry, I keep interrupting.
Dude, thing is, light speak happens simultaneously. We're all supposed to be able to communicate simultaneous. This talking shit's for the birds, man.
That'd be nice, huh? If we could develop our ESP and
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
And send pictures. Pictures say more than 1,000 words.
Agreed. You know, or music. You know, music is a great way to speak, folks. You can condense entire like volumes of subject into a single verse with the right music. You know.
Yeah, I think so too. Music can bring bright or beautiful tears to your eyes, to your soul. Like I also wanted to state to a lot of people that we're energy, vibration, and frequency, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that means these bodies that are mostly water aren't who we are. That is so not who we are.
Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter.
Yeah. Yeah. So I put on vibrations when I go to bed now.
Cool. Very smart.
Yeah. And there's so many vibration hertz. There's so many hertz that it's unreal. I mean, it's unreal. And lately I've been doing it's called the Jupiter or Neptune vibration, and it's love. It's a vibration of love. And I've been doing the chakra vibrations. I've been working on trying to quit smoking. That's my one I'm working on real hard. Yeah. Join the crowd. So you guys are great.
It fell down earlier. So I asked because
I'm surprised Bradley hasn't went up yet.
yeah, Bradley is usually the smokestack.
That's not good. That is not good. All four out of 4. Come on.
I am smoking. I'm sharing the show as well. That's what I'm doing.
Well, I have a medical excuse. I need the nicotine. Wow. Yeah. For defensive eating purposes.
Jim is like an advert for smoking. For smoking cigarettes. Jim is like an advert.
This is only my, I believe, 3rd one, and we've been on for almost 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I finally took a couple drags to try not to smoke. I'm trying to quit. It's not an easy feat.
You know what's funny though, folks, and I'm not advocating smoking and I'm not advocating nicotine, but there's an interesting phenomenon. When the Americas were discovered, and we've all seen like in the movies the peace pipe, smoke 'em, white man, all that stuff.
Well,
right?
I think it was the Indians originally that came out with that smoking cornweed, right, or silkweed from the corn. I believe that's how they began.
Native Americans smoked a lot of stuff.
Yeah, before they discovered tobacco, I guess.
Well, either way, the discovery of the tobacco, when it went back to the East, a lot of the really, really high level monks took up smoking, believe it or not. And I would like to know why. I don't understand why, but apparently it's kind of a sign of enlightenment now that they'll have the occasional smoke. And I'm like, that seems weird to me. I don't know enough about Buddhism to make that make sense? I don't get it.
I think that they all smoked something way back in those days, you know. I think they turned nicotine into a harmful thing.
Well,
I don't think it used to be.
there's a reason they call it Granddaddy Kush. Marijuana as we know it today, folks, and I'm not advertising drugs, but it's important, especially if you're anti-drug, to know where this stuff comes from. I am not anti-drug. Don't let me fool you. So the what we know of today as marijuana actually came from the Kush region of India. That's hence why it's called Kush, and it was used by the people there to help seek enlightenment. You know, so what we have today, like the marijuana and stuff they have today, especially like in dispensaries, if it's legal where you are, like me, haha. Which is why I'm allowed to talk about it. So the thing is that a long time ago, things like marijuana really, really were a part of enlightenment. You know,
Yeah,
and
when they let the science come out about it, I do know there's some really good things about it to do with health. My dad died of cancer a couple years ago, and I finally got him to take those THC gummy bear stuff, and
yeah,
that really helped him through the having cancer. You know,
yeah,
it helped with the pain, the whole thing.
yeah.
So I'm not against it. Now, if we got into a conversation about heroin and those dirty 30s they come out with now and what it does to people, they're dropping dead all over the place.
Crocodile. It's all about crocodile, folks. That's the sign of the apocalypse. The dead are walking. It's in the Bible. Actually, it's not the Bible. It's the Code of Hammurabi. I need to get that shit correct.
There we go. Yeah, I'm learning that a lot of stuff that's in the Bible is way back on the walls of the Egyptians and in the cuneiform tablets,
Yes,
thousands of years before the Bible came out.
and
And
there's a
folks, they changed the Bible. They changed it so it looked like we were going to be deemed to hell if we did anything bad and punished. It wasn't like that. It's been changed,
no.
altered, and tons of it pulled out.
Well, the concept of hell was a combination of the I don't want to say ancient, but ancient Jewish afterlife and the Greek idea of Erebus. Very specifically, what a lot of people don't realize today, the place that they call hell is an actual place in Greece. It's an actual spot where there's active volcanoes. It's not some like weird, you know, uh, odd concept. And the idea of afterlife that Jesus himself believed in was a place called Sheol, which was not hell. It was like a holding place, and then somewhere after your life in Sheol is heaven, hell, and all that crap. But Jesus himself didn't believe in hell, didn't believe in heaven either. You know,
After all that I've learned, I think they're lower density dimensions. And I think that there's definitely other dimensions from what I've seen and read. I want to go up. I'm ready.
yeah, I
Well,
want to go home, being a shark too.
them to imply that there's a heaven and hell would mean that there's a final destination. And my
Yeah,
opinion is within nature, there is no final destination, just a continuing recycling process.
What a great point. That is a good way to look at it because I don't think there definitely is not an end point, not a beginning or an end.
no. The Vedics actually explain this in a semi-mathematical formula. If you could, for whatever reason, rise to the point of God, like you are now God, you would find that God has already passed you. There is no end. There is no limit. Any
I
limit
love
that is
that.
found, God is already beyond. And if you could ever catch up to where he is now, you can't catch up to the speed in which he's evolving. It's there is no end.
Yeah, and that goes as far as, how we look at our universe. There's definitely proof going in the direction of that. And it keeps getting bigger and bigger when they think they hit some kind of end or the God particle that CERN says they discovered and all that, the dark matter, everything, that it just keeps going. There is not any end in sight, you know. There's so much. There's so much in our world now. I always think, God, why can't we go back to simpler times?
I don't know. It's possible. People say you can't return to innocence, but you can. You know, if innocence is defined as the knowledge of right and wrong, then refinding innocence is simply a matter of letting go of the idea that you know anything about the universe.
Yeah, yep, in a simpler state, which we keep starting out being in that state.
Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly think that there has been civilizations that definitely far surpassed ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of them went in a better direction, and then always, so far, something dark comes into society, and then there goes the reset. 5 times what we know of now. I'm ready for a climb up. Raise everybody's vibrations, knowledge of the truth. Come out with what you're experiencing. Honestly, what do we have to lose?
Our illusions.
Yeah, exactly. And so what if people say, that person's got a screw loose? They're a crackpot. No.
No,
Actually,
my pot
now
is
you're the
shattered. Thank you.
crackpot. Yeah. Yeah. I have nothing to lose. My family, after all these years and them experiencing things with me, they know their mom's telling the truth. They know their grandma's telling the truth. My family, some of my family's witnessed these things, and they weren't all good. Oh, and then the negative blood thing, that has another whole show. A few of us are negative blood in my family. The ones that seem to have the experiences.
Yeah. Experience tend to follow RH negative people, but that's not a rule, just a trend. So,
well, we got slammed with it over here,
some people believe that and I'm not sure. I don't know I'm not Nibiruite, but some people believe that the Nibirites are tracking the RH negative genome. That
I've
could
heard
be.
that our government definitely tracks our
Oh yeah,
negative.
they absolutely do. I mean, the reason why Shar got so much help from the government is because they're tracking. They know who we are, they know where we are, they know where we're from, but they also know that we are not here to disrupt their shit, so they leave us alone.
Yeah, that's a scary thought that way. There's been so many people murdered, like Phil Schneider, and people that try to come out with clean energy. You guys know that too, right? Like the people that want to revert to the magnetic field around the earth, which that's what I think the pyramids were used for, in my opinion. But we have clean air technology, clean energy technology, and it seems like suspicious things happen to the people that have tried to bring that out too.
Right.
So
Well, again,
there's
that's one of the reasons they sent the Ashtar. We can heal. Choke us. Go ahead.
yeah, I
Thing
heard about those med bed things too.
Oh, dude, they keep blocking it. Basically, what the problem is with the med beds, if the people could see what you could do with a med bed, it would be the next step. Wait, I can do this by myself just by thinking it, and then the med bed people don't get their money. So they're trying to figure out a way.
That would put a lot of taught wrongly medical doctors out of business. It is really hard for things not to be suppressed at this point.
Right, and that's part of the problem, though, is that like quantum healing, vibrational healing, and modern medicine, they can work together. Okay, these do not have to be two separate things, But the people with the med bed, once you've been touched by healing energy, it creates a seed in you, and it goes out. As some of you guys know, being longtime viewers, Kevin Kaman, God rest his soul, is a very, very good example. The minute that a little bit of just the tiniest mote of light touched his tracking device, he was lit up. He was done. He was lit. He was on the way to enlightenment. He was awakening. He was affecting. He was dreaming. And there wasn't goddamn diddly they could do to stop him after that. You know?
Yeah. And I keep hearing this happening to people. That's one of the reasons why I do the tones and focus on my, my third eye, pineal gland.
Yeah.
They say if you can have that positive energy come in and touch your third eye, your pineal gland, that it breaks the buildup that's been going on for thousands of years to suppress it. And there's crystals in there that work somehow that help enlighten you.
You mean in the pineal gland, or crystals that you can, because different crystals do different things.
In the pineal gland, there's actual little tiny crystals that vibrate.
Yeah. The pineal gland is an ocular organ. It takes in light. So the question you got to ask yourself, if it takes in light, what's it doing in the middle of your skull?
Yeah.
It's not visible light it's seeing. It's the hyperspatial light we're all talking about.
I say it sees things that we can't perceive of. Some of us can, that are dimensional, esoteric in nature. It's that knowing that we don't clearly know of yet until we get our pineal glands to be uncalcified. I know what's in toothpaste?
Lots of stuff. Oh, you're talking about the fluoride?
Fluoride. Yeah. Fluoride has affected it over many years. It's actually supposedly went from prune size to pea size. But that's not to say it's dead and you can't open your third eye, because I know.
No, you can resoften it. You can reconstitute it, decalcify it, I think is one of the words they use. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Candy Fowler, it's Kundalini. Start with your Muladhara chakra and work up to your third eye. You'll blow your energy out if you start at the top, if you succeed.
Is that these tones, Bradley? Is that these tones that I'm talking about when I put on these certain hertz tones? It said that you're affecting each chakra point.
Yeah.
Yeah. What she's talking about specifically is the way the Kundalini must be activated. The thing is, and I'm going to disagree with you on that one, Candace, to a slightly degree. More like a building on your point rather than arguing with your point. Different people require different translating it into English is hard. Hold on a second. Different people require different breaths, as they would say in Vedic. A person who breathes, God, it's so hard to talk about in people words. A person who breathes the normal light, yes, they will blow out the top of their Kundalini. You're doing that the wrong way. The problem is that some people breathe the different energies. Those who breathe the pure life energy will go insane if they try to do that, and they'll starve to death. But at the same time, if a normal person tries to consume that breath, the yang breath, the life breath, they'll go insane. So it's very highly personal. What frequency are you at home? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm trying to learn too, is I'm actually kind of new at that part of it. But I'm learning by learning about our tones, our energies, our frequencies, and now the vibrations. And then I turn these tones on and I try to meditate on it. I picture, because it shows you that you bring light. You picture this godly light energy that comes in about here on your forehead is where your third eye or pineal gland, but farther back is behind your brain, right?
No, the pineal gland is sort of in the middle of your brain. It basically, if you can see where your eyes are and then kind of imagine a triangle point, it's like here. Find the point that would cross-reference between right here in the middle of your forehead and your temple, and that's where your pineal gland is.
Yeah, then I'm doing that part right. And I have to tell you that strange things do occur, I get these knowings that somewhere in me just knows that, you know, that's something true, and these feelings about it. The more you go along in this, the more things that are amazing happen. I'm sure you guys agree with that.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Holy crap.
Yep.
Yes. The farther you follow the rabbit hole, the deeper it goes.
Yes, I'm getting in pretty deep, and that's okay with me.
You know,
I want it.
if a person would consider the sacrifice of sanity to be worth it given the stakes, then follow the rabbit hole as far as you can. You know.
Yeah, yep. You got to swallow pride. You have to research deeply. I'm at the point where I'm learning in meditation. I'm learning my chakra points. I'm going in that direction, but I'm also doing research on the reptilian or the negative force that Jack Valet just put out that statement saying that he believes that our leadership is being influenced by dark things, and that they're even basically refusing to listen to the right things.
I
So,
am going to be petty and childish for just a second and say, "You're welcome to the party, Mr. Sir. We've been waiting for you."
yeah, he's been doing it for a long time. He's getting up there in age, and he's got a great reputation and lots of written studies that he's done. And then I'm going to recommend James Bartley for the best reptilian description that I've heard with symptoms from friends of mine that are probably watching the show. And Darren Salas, Wesley Rowe, I wanted to mention they would love to be on your show, guys.
Yeah.
And
Just
then,
contact us, inbox us if you've got any guests that want to be on our show. It'd be a pleasure to embrace them and hear their stories to share.
yeah,
And if anybody knows how to get in contact with Miss Laura Eisenhower, could you tell her we'd like to speak with her, please? We need to talk
I
about the
like
treaty.
her. I
Yeah,
really like her.
she has a lot of great information, being the granddaughter of President Eisenhower. Yeah.
I'm not after the information. The treaty must be discussed. We are running out of time. For the treaty protected my family. So there's a personal debt of gratitude to the Eisenhower family, but there's also that things need to be discussed. Things are moving forward, you know.
She's really gone out on a limb with her whole I'm coming out with the true thing, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
I know she's on YouTube. Maybe you could leave
Yeah,
her a comment on there.
Oh,
I don't
dude, I've
know.
tried every.
She's probably on Facebook as well.
Jen, you and Bradley know personally how hard I've been trying to contact all these people.
Yeah.
it
So,
gets aggravating when some get back to you and some don't.
well, what are you
You
supposed
know,
to do? Write them a letter and say, "Hi, I'm an alien"? That's not going to work. You
I've
know?
got to talk with Stephen Bassett a couple times. He's up, he fights for the truth behind the UFO community up there with Stephen Greer and people like that.
Yeah. See, Dr. Greer's another one. Dr. Greer, you're a great man. Pull your head out of your ass. Stop dealing with transplants and implants and this and that. There are actual visitors here with actual proof. We need you. Okay, you've made enough money. Move forward.
I agree with that statement.
So I'm pissed off.
Like
Dr.
I
Greer.
said in the beginning of this, you kind of know when you run into someone that's being really basically genuine. And then when they veer off in a direction that's uncomfortable and in the wrong direction, that's when you got to kind of back off and go another, there's too many crazy things going on, like with the transhuman and all that stuff. I don't go that way at all.
Yeah, transhumanism is a whole nother thing. No,
My soul's going the God way, not into somebody's robot,
Oh, dude. Okay. The transhumanism and the singularity don't have to be the same things. You know, the singularity is the point where they want to merge people with robots so we can live forever. And it's like, dude, that's how you miss the point. That's like
Yeah,
step by step how you miss the point of being alive.
what a terrifying thought.
Right? Oh my God, how terrible would it be to live forever? Like, really?
Yeah,
Hey,
well,
Cass, Vic Makarov says he's a friend with Laura on Facebook.
Well, if you could help out, that would be amazing. There are prizes if you can help out. But yeah, basically, her grandfather's treaty saved my daughter's life. Okay. And for that reason, I will fight for America. You heard it right, Putin. Sorry. Putin went on this thing about 10 years ago.
You got to say that in Russian, Cass. You got to say that.
yeah.
Hold on. Bachonohoya sukansin, Comrade Putin.
Oh no.
There you go.
That was not polite, by the way. For those of you who speak Russian, yeah, I said something not nasty. But no, it's just all these freaking wars. But no, that treaty saved my daughter's life. I want everyone to know this, especially if you can forward this to Miss Eisenhower. Basically, when they were trying to find out why my daughter's heart was failing, I was trying to explain to them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, sure, crazy person." Then they took her DNA, and they were like, "That's not human DNA." And I was like, "No shit, Sherlock." So they got my medical records unlocked to a certain degree so they could help Shar. The government has known that we're here since I was 21 years old. They want us very much to be happy American citizens. Very, very much. They spared no expense to try to save Shar. I want everyone to know that. Okay. So you want to talk smack about my country that saved my daughter's life? You're in for a fight.
I'm glad I just heard you say that. That's awesome. It must have been a rough experience, whatever was involved in it. Doesn't sound too fun.
It's been terrible. And basically, it started when I was 5 years old. My father would take me around to various producers. He was trying to get himself further in the music industry. So, and so he would take me around and have me do stupid psychic pet tricks for the various producers. And that sort of got me into this subculture, like embedded early, and there's no way out for me. I even tried to go full science, like, nope, this is all fake, just science. And then I scientifically proved it was real. And I'm like, fuck, I just want to draw boobies, man. Come on. I used to draw comic books for a living.
I keep running into these shockers about our reality that is, I said it in a very broad way. We're living a total and complete lie almost. So when you become awakened, you start going through and finding out this, wait a minute, that is nothing like we've been taught. Nothing. And that rabbit hole started for me and has not stopped whatsoever at all. 7 years ago is when it started. So there's some crazy things that go on.
Would it surprise you if I told you that this man right here proved mathematically all of this is real in the 50s?
As far as what do you mean?
Well, everybody's heard of E equals MC squared, right?
Right.
So the thing is, that's part of a larger equation that's referred to affectionately as the theory of relativity. The problem is that the theory of relativity proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that human thought has mass and that can therefore affect reality.
Now, I believe that part. They kind of suppress that.
Yeah,
I don't believe that we evolved for mates. I believe that we were simpler forms of life that were all already on the earth and is written on the walls in Egypt in the ancient human form text in the green emerald tablets, that there were higher beings, not gods. In my opinion, they came down. We had wars with all kinds of different species, other peoples. I hear they don't like to be called aliens.
No.
and that we are a part of a lot of different things. That's why we all have different blood types.
Right.
And
And that's
we're
why the
all
stars.
different.
I'm sorry, I talk over people.
I did that too. It's okay.
That's also why the star seeds, though, can remember multiple different planets of origin. Every single one of you was everywhere. You were me in a past life. I know, scary, right? But I was you in a past life. Everybody is everybody.
That's what I'm hearing too. I keep my ears open to everything I hear, and then you try to put it all together. There's so many different aspects. There's the ancient history. There's what people say is going on right now. There's the way the world's going, which,
Yeah.
dang it, I'm not too thrilled about it. And I'm like, you guys, I'm ready to hear some damn good news, you know. So if you
Yeah,
guys
we
want
just
to share any of that on the site, please do.
How much of it do you want? Because there's so much good news. Like, where do we start? What
I
specifically would you like?
Well, you don't hear a lot about, except if you go to YouTube and you go on these certain sites, they like the Universe of Truth, or there's these different factions about this new guy named Ismail Perez or something that everybody's talking about, that has written these books and hidden in the dark about his enlightening experiences for years, tells us history and what's going on now. There's several people that are coming out and they have the same stories. And I'm wondering, they talk about all these light force and good ships being here, and that they're winning the battle, that it's almost over, that, I mean, there's a whole narrative, other storylines going on. So people have a hard time knowing what storyline to go with.
See, that's kind of one of the things that's been bugging me for a really long time. Bradley can attest to this, because I used to get like really cheesed off at people, and Bradley had to teach me how to talk to people a little bit. So, but it drives me crazy when people do that. Like you'll get on there, you'll get on the YouTube, and the light workers channel will come up and like, we destroyed 27 Draco ships. I want to reach through and grab them by their little people mouth and say, shut up. That's
Well,
not how it works.
I understand that one too. And so here you have these narratives, and then people like us, even that are coming out and talking about things. And you know what I want to know? Where are they? What's happening really? I mean, what story's the true story? I like to go on facts and research myself. I mean, and I do have faith, but mine's not such an enlightened story. That's a hard thing for me to live with. It really is. You don't even know. You really don't even know.
I really don't. Please elaborate.
Yeah, I'm not going to cover what's happening, and Jack Valet, he's well known. He is so well known, and what his statement was, what he just put out in public, is scary, guys.
I probably missed it. What is the recent
I
thing?
posted on my site. I'll post it again.
Okay.
It basically says that he believes, and they've done extensive study and research on what's going on, the UFO thing and more, and written scientific papers about it. He thinks there is a dark force that is mingling in with our world leaders, governments, militaries, trickling down to our news stations, spreading untruths and lies, and make people think in insane ways, basically.
He's right.
Well, I'm fighting with that in my life. Not that I'm thinking in the same ways. Something is in my life that is hurting me, giving me symptoms that other people are having.
Indeed.
That's what needs to be known.
I was about to say that. That's the part. That's that to me, in my mind, is the most useful part of the information. So other people can say, "Hey, that's happening to me too. Get
They
checked."
are.
You know.
They are saying that.
Good.
That's why I'm here. I'm kind of being a representative for that truth, that real truth of what's happening.
On a personal note, Shan, thank you very much for sharing this, because I have no perspective on this part. Like, I don't know how scary this is for people. You know, like, for
It's
example,
very scary. I
one of my
want my videos and pictures examined. I want people to know what I and others are going through. I want them to know that in this group with over 5,000 people, that I've met people that are coming out to me and telling me what's happening in their lives. And it's the same things that are happening to me. Same videos and pictures, same dark, whatever this is. Why am I going to suppress this? I'm not.
Well, they're hoping that you'll be too afraid and
Not
suppress it with your own
afraid.
fear.
Guess what? I live forever. You know this, right? We go
Yeah,
on.
the energy never dies.
That's my take on this.
That's
We
that's
are coming up at the top of the hour here. We got a few minutes left. It's going to be 2 hours now.
Yeah, we're going to have to close the show soon. I'd like to say thank you, Shan Gilms, for being on the show, and especially our mystery guest, Cassidy Lightwing.
I'm
Thank
not a
you. You're
mystery.
welcome again.
I'm no
you,
mystery.
Will.
More like
Well,
more like mysterious.
Yeah, I'm really glad that I got to come on. Thank you, guys. It was nice meeting you.
It was good to
It's
meet
been a
you.
pleasure to have you on. I'd like to thank Jim Andre, my co-host, for appearing alongside myself. A pleasure to have Cassidy Lightwing, Shane Gilms on the show. And thank you for all those who have contributed to supporting the group forum of Esoteric Hours. It's been a pleasure to have you all near us.
Okay, we'll see you all on the next one.
Yep, talk to
Thank
you
you.
guys soon. Thanks.
Thank you, Cassidy. Thank you, Shane.